Hello, this is Doodles, and today I'm doing my first ever voiceover. This is strange, but let's just get into it. I told myself I need to draw something for my YouTube channel, and at first I didn't know what to do. So I drew a wall, and it just so happened to become a person. Draw some face, decide where the arm, where the chest is, decide the shoulders, make a chest, and add the arms. And then hips and blah 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 blah. At first, I honestly had no clue, and I was so struggling. Playing with my pen was 50% of the drawing. The other 50% was actually, the other 40% was drawing, and the other 10% was just me staring at the paper. There was a lot of time of me just, playing with my pen. I actually removed some of the footage of me just playing with the pen. And even with that footage Even with that footage removed, it still took a very long time. Now at this point, you can see the sketch, and I have been struggling a lot. I decided, let's give the person a pole, and maybe trees. Ooh, let's maybe add a big tree in the background. Only for me to realize I hate it, so let's destroy the tree. And I ended up destroying the tree in front. Don't worry though, he comes back. See, there he is, he's back. Then I had realized that I haven't done the hair yet, and that's not like me, but... And then I gave up on the hair because I didn't know what type of hairline to give them, so... run away. I did them a little skirt thing, realized their one arm was too short, and finally tackling the hair. Usually hair is one of my favorite parts, but right now I didn't know what to do. Here I'm trying to give her like a undershirt, and this, for some reason, I couldn't wrap my brain around where it's supposed to go. But in the end, I think I got to there. Add some sleeves, and then try again on the background, and play with my pen. Ignore the background and to distract myself with a little face on the shirt. Erasing with my fine eraser, and then back to doing little fix-ups and add a little bun thing. Earring! Can you tell I'm stalling from the background? Okay, maybe add more sticks to the... Add more leaves, add more sticks, add more anything. And then a friend actually gave me a suggestion of what to do. And I was like, okay, let's do that instead. And here I was just like, what do I do? The friend gave me a suggestion of wheat. And me struggling with hands. Die hands. I really hate drawing hands. They're so hard to draw. And I don't feel like these hands are that good. They're horrible. Okay, here the friend gave me the suggestion. Erase with the trees. Pecan trees. And that left a lot of eraser shavings on my desk, which I afterward had to clean up. Chaos everywhere. Okay, so here, I decided let's add the wheat. And then I realized I don't know how to draw wheat, so I actually put my pen down and went to go look up how to draw wheat. This is me looking up how to draw wheat. Not very interesting footage, but I have it anyway. Okay, learned how to draw wheat, and now I'm adding huge wheat because small wheat sounds boring. And the question is it the wheat that's giant, or is it the person that's tiny? I realized while doing that wheat is pretty much just hearts. Like you can draw hearts around a stick, and then you pretty much get wheat. There you can see the heart technique used to the fullest. And at this point I feel like the drawing was going okay. Like, I was actually okay with it, but I was at the same time like, because I was getting bored at drawing this wheat. And then I decided she can have a wheat stick. I don't know what type of stick she's got. A pole, stick, spear. I don't know what that is. But whatever it is, she looks like, I don't know, maybe it's got some sort of magical power or something. I don't know. At this point it's still very sketchy, and I'm just adding some more wheat. At this point I decided enough wheat, and struggling with the eraser shavings. Now I'm procrastinating on what to do next. Taking out my kneaded eraser and thinking, okay, let's add line art. My favorite part! Could you tell I'm being sarcastic? I hate line art. One wrong move and you destroy the drawing. I would love to get a lightbox and just to save the sketches, but I feel like if I do that, then I'll have too many just loose sketches lying around everywhere, because of me being afraid to ink on the same paper as the sketch, for in case I kill the sketch. Here I took up my Pigma fine tip and I started adding the line art. Little did I know, my Pigma has been beginning to squeak lately, and I have taken a note of this, but I thought it still had a little bit of juice in it. During this illustration, I realized it had less juice than I thought, because when I would draw a straight line, there would be bits in the line that was half colored in, half not. And at this point, I also realized that I have accidentally forgotten that the pole existed and have lined over it. No! So I ignore it, go with the hand, and then I decide, you know what, your pole's gonna be black. Because what else am I supposed to do? I guess I could have used a gel pen or something just to try and hide it, but I feel like going black was the best idea. Here, doing the hair. I'm not so happy with how this turned out, but okay. The button thing on the top, that is not listening to the laws of gravity. Hands. Oh, I still don't like that hand. Can you tell that the other hand is just a nub? Meet my nubs. They are nubs, because I don't want to draw hands. Okay, now I was just happy that the line art had actually succeeded, and that it did die on me fully before I was able to finish the character. So then I took out my 8 size micron, and then I realized that one's also starting to run low on ink. Not as much as the other one though, but still. So, it was usable, so I continued just using this. I even at one point I think swapped to the not the 0.5, the 5, like the 0.5 micron, but I think for most of it I used the 8. Oh, now look, back to the wheat. Right now it doesn't look like wheat. Right now it kind of looks like long plant things, but later on it becomes wheat when you color it yellow. Like that's the main difference in my opinion. Before this, if you asked me to draw wheat, I would probably not know, but I think I found out how wheat looks. Yeah, now I don't know what to say. Okay, lining, annoying wheat. What do I talk about now? This is my first ever voiceover, so forgive me if I'm a little rusty or... No, not rusty. I've never done this before. How can I be rusty if I've never done something? Forgive me if I'm noobish. Right now I'm lining some of the wheat that you can't even see on screen. Like that huge one. Well, you most of the time can't see. And here I'm fighting these wheat that intertwine in this one section. Is this whole drawing just gonna be about me talking about wheat? Looks like it. That's what the title's gonna be. Me rambling about wheat. Wheat makes delicious things, but is annoying to draw. Okay, finally done with the line art, except for one bit. Okay, now erasing time. Erasing, honestly, isn't the worst part of drawing. It is a little nerve-wracking because sometimes the paper likes to give up on itself and just tear or fold while you're erasing. And that's really, really sad when it happens. Okay, but this has caused too many eraser shavings on my desk. When I was trying to draw this morning, I had to move a bunch of eraser shavings off my desk. Yeah, I was picking out a color palette. I hadn't actually envisioned any colors for this other than the wheat being yellow. So these were the colors I ended out with. I just picked randomly like a color palette and just went with that. Here I'm using the E700, 70 I think, just to add the deep shadows to the skin. And then I decided, ooh, let's add a light source, maybe the staff thing is emitting light of some sort, or I'm not sure. Is it a light source or is it a shadow? Debatable. But this is my first time doing a light source, shadow source, whatever this is. It was intended to be a light source, but it kind of looks like a shadow. Traditionally, I am not a digital artist, but when it comes to like coloring and like doing things, like doing lighting, shading, I like to use my different types of layers, like multiply, add, all those stuff on Procreate. I love using them, so they make my life so much easier, and I would recommend to anyone who is too lazy to plan out where their light sources are, just use the add layer on Procreate. It's so easy. And if you can't do it, then don't worry, just practice, and I'm sure you'll get the hang of it eventually. Who knows, maybe that isn't for you. Maybe that style isn't for you. And here, I realized that I hadn't put any paper below my desk. And what I'm painting on what I'm coloring on right now isn't actually any marker paper or anything fancy like that. No, it's just normal printer paper that I used my Copics on because I am scared to use my marker paper. No, the reason I did it on normal printer paper instead of any other paper is because I didn't know whether I wanted to color it with markers, color pencils, or whatever. This marker was a pain in the butt because it was drying out, and I love this marker so much. I can't remember exactly what the name is, but it's a BG. I love this marker so much. I use it so much. It's so nice. And then I realized it was dying. And then I went back to my E700, and this one was also slightly dying, but not, like it wasn't as dry, but it was slightly, so I need to be a little wary of that. Then I started coloring in the undershirt thing, shirt, dress, whatever that is. I imagine it's got one sleeve long and one sleeve super short. Weird asymmetrical design, but okay. And here using my two skin markers. I always use these two markers for a light skin tone because you pretty much leave a person not super pale, but not incredibly dark either. I love using the E00 for skin tone and E0000, I think kind of two at once. The only problem is at first it looks a little green, at least in real life. In the footage it looks a little wet. But after it dries it becomes kind of like the same color as the paper. On to the wheat. At first I actually did try and be really precise with which wheat you like to stay in the line and all that. But as you'll see shortly, that did not hold up for long. I ended up just coloring around like somewhere in the near sections of the wheat. Here is the best example. Let's appreciate that beautifully crafted coloring. Like it deserves a prize, and the prize of the worst coloring in the world. Like I was one of the students who, when the teacher said color in the line, they would get annoyed because they didn't want to. Okay, now change of angles, trying something different. But then I forgot that my hand's in the way constantly of the footage. I was even debating whether I should maybe switch to my left hand for this, but I was like, no. Because I am right-handed and I do not want to color with my left hand. Like I'm not a noob at Copics or brush markers in general, but I'm definitely not a pro, so I keep on the brush just goes wherever it wants, honestly. Okay, now here you can't really see it that well, but I'm trying to do the light source, and I feel like at the end it didn't end up exactly how I wanted it to. Maybe in my free time I'm gonna try and darken. I wanted to also color the background, but I feel like coloring around those wheat would just be so annoying. So I might do that like just in my spare time maybe, in the future, or I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna leave this drawing like this and call it a day. But what would be nice is to add like a little darkness around the edges. Like so you can see the light a little better. Here you can see me adding more, or attempting to add more light with a very light red. You don't really see it at the final product that well, but yeah, I tried. Still, that just means that there's room for improvement. Here I'm going in with the V20 and just adding a little bit more shadow. I had seen a bunch of YouTubers recently use like these purples, this purple in Copic set to add shading, but I had never known exactly which purple. And then today I tried the V20 and it looks like it's gone well. These are the colors I used. Not all of them, like some of them I put back in my case, like the V20. And then I realized afterwards that I forgot to color this little dude on the shirt. And I'm not super happy with how it turned out, but he didn't turn out that bad either. So, yay. And during coloring the shirt, I accidentally colored him a little bit. But he's there still smiling, even though his circumstances are not the best. So, applause for that. And this is what we have. That concludes this video. See you next time. Doodles!